Angelina Baines with CATV, and today I'm here with Louis Cornell and Joanna Wise with the Upper Valley Arts Alliance. We're going to be talking with them, finding out what the Arts Alliance is all about. So welcome, Joanne and Louis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead and just tell me a little bit about Upper Valley Arts Alliance and the organization's mission.
Well, the mission of the Upper Valley Arts Alliance is a very simple one. It's to promote the literary, performing, and visual arts in the Upper Valley, the towns that constitute what we call the Upper Valley, through any means possible. At present, what we are mostly focused on is a website that presents material on arts and artists, but that doesn't preclude other functions that we might discover or investigate in the future.
When people start talking about what constitutes the communities of the Upper Valley, it might be interesting to help define that. And the way we've done it is through the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation Upper Valley Region map that includes from Randolph down to, let's say, Springfield, and then as far west as Dorchester, would you say? To almost Woodstock.
It's a pretty
and it's
big.
a pretty
big
area that we are trying to help communities foster their arts.
That's great. So when people talk about the Upper Valley, a lot of times we're just thinking the main hubs of Hartford, Norwich, Heartland, you know, that area, Hanover, Lebanon. But it really does reach out pretty far. So many communities could be involved with the Upper Valley Arts Alliance.
Yeah, communities and individuals. The fact is that many of the visual arts people and also independent musicians tend to live on the outskirts, because it's too expensive to live in Hanover and Norwich. So we're trying to find a way to bring in people who live in a kind of independent, quiet way, might have their studios 20 miles, 30 miles from here, and therefore perhaps find it a little harder to make their work known to the general public.
And I think Louis is making a really good point about that. When we put the new website together, the one thing that I think attracted the artists to the website was what we're calling the gallery, where they can put information about themselves, including their own websites, to put a little bit more stardom on their work and what they're doing and where they are. So I do think that that's been great and a big help to some of these smaller, both organizations and the artists in the outlying areas.
So, so that's great. The Arts Alliance, you said the new website. So, UVA has quite a history. Could you give us a little background on the history of the Arts Alliance in this area?
Oh, we're all primed. The Arts Alliance, as it now is, has developed in a number of different directions, but the underlying impulse came from an idea that was generated around the year 2000 by a sociologist named Richard Florida, who presented the idea of a creative economy. A creative economy is that portion of a community's economy that involves not only creative artists, but also the periphery that they create for themselves. You start with a young creative people, and pretty soon you find you have a theater, you find you have restaurants, you have shops of different kinds. So he demonstrated to his own satisfaction that this was a much more important part of the general economy than anyone had yet realized. And the idea took wing, floated quickly around, and it was picked up here by the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, which in 2002,
I think, we put a steering committee together.
And had a meeting of everyone who might be thought to be interested in this in Woodstock, which brought together about a couple of hundred people. And that was really only the kind of core. You start thinking about the size of the Upper Valley, geographically, the amount of creative work that's going on, not just in the Hanover, Lebanon, Norwich, White River Junction quadrangle, but out to Woodstock, up as far as Haverhill, and all through the region. There's quite a lot of interest, and good discussions, and out of it came 3 proposals for institutional development, and one of these was the Upper Valley Arts Alliance. The idea of an Arts Alliance is an umbrella organization that can serve artists and arts-related work of all kinds by representing common interests, bringing people together who might not otherwise be at all aware of each other. So it can include a large organization like Hopkins Center at Dartmouth, or an individual graphic designer who might be working out of a small studio in Haverhill, say, or somewhere on the periphery. Now, that was how the idea got going. It was a national notion, or meme if you like, that found a resonance here in the Upper Valley. And with some very valuable early support from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, we established ourselves as an informal organization. We did not incorporate, we did not go after 501c3 charitable status. We are an informal group of arts-related people who set out to see what could be done in this area. Does that correspond to your recollections,
Yeah, I
Joanne?
think that's good. And the only other added benefit that I really do want to talk about is how the businesses have been impacted by this. We've been able to prove that because there is a vibrant arts scene in the Upper Valley, the Hypertherms and other big companies and the hospital and the college attract really good people because of the vibrancy of things going on here. And we want to be sure that that's maintained, that young people want to come and be here because there's so much going on. I don't think if we had as much, we would have as many good things happening. There's incubators starting up. There's really a good reason to come here, and the arts and culture, I think, is really one of the primary reasons that people come.
Yeah, just to give you a case in point, my own organization, the Upper Valley Music Center, is a community music school. It's been in existence close on 20 years now, and realtors are interested in what we do because people who are thinking of moving here want to know if their kids can get music lessons. It's here. People can easily find out about us, and if they don't go directly to our own website, they can just check out Arts Upper Valley, and bang, Google will put you right up to the Upper Valley Arts Alliance. So that's an example. I would say not just the large non-arts related businesses, but many businesses in the community have a relation to the arts that you might not think of. Movie theaters, picture framers, supply stores of different kinds, retail. We have maybe 3 or 4 shops that provide musical instruments that we deal with. All of these are part of the overall arts community, and many of them, I think, go unrecognized because people focus on what you might call the primary producers of art. So that's the mission in the larger sense, and a little bit of the background. And now the question arises, what have we done and what can we do? And here it gets a little complicated. An arts alliance can either restrict itself to being a kind of blanket organization that serves the arts community, or it can become active itself and present programs that in effect do things that other arts organizations sometimes do themselves. We've tried both routes. The biggest deal that we pulled off was an Arts for All Day in Lebanon on a gorgeous day in October. We worked terribly hard over it, and we had literally thousands of people come. It was a huge success. And everybody who presented their materials there at Arts for All said, when are you going to do this again? You know, it's wonderful for us. Well, it turned out that the dozen or so people who organized it, who are also very busy in their own arts organizations, were totally burned out. And so we said to ourselves, among ourselves, we're going to be very, very careful about setting up another program of this magnitude. and we pulled back from that and tried a number of smaller scale activities. We had one member of the group who was a retired art teacher in schools, and she wanted very much to persuade local businesses to hang artwork by kids as a cheerful way of showing off they were doing. She was very successful with this. And it takes one person like that with a gleam in the eye to go around to dozens of different banks, other local institutions that wouldn't have thought of it, and say, look at that wall. Wouldn't that look a lot nicer if you had a couple of dozen bright, colorful pictures by kids? Yeah, of course.
But Louie, she did it right. She also matted all of the pictures so that everything came with a very professional look, and I think that helped the banks say,
oh sure,
okay,
it wasn't just a messy show.
That was really good. When can we do that again?
But the kicker there is that it requires individuals who have a passion for doing a particular thing and are willing to carry it out among themselves. At present, the Arts Alliance has a very modest budget. It consists officially of myself and Joanne. We call ourselves co-chairs.
And our salaries are really large.
I know, you could double them and you'd still be at zero. We subsist because we have some folks out there who believe in what we're doing and have provided us with generous support. I mentioned particularly the Barrett Family Foundation of the New Hampshire Community Foundation Charitable Trust. But also, we've found that by restricting our activities as we are right now, pretty much to doing the website, it's not quite self-supporting, but darn near. We charge a very modest fee for individual artists or smaller or larger organizations to post their information on the website, and thanks to a couple of very able helpers who we pay a small amount to do the technical work for us, we're able to carry this on, and I think we do something that's not world-shattering, but it's effective and interesting.
So if I am an individual, or if I'm a business owner, or I'm heading an arts organization, a nonprofit organization, and I want to be involved with your site, what would the benefit be to me? What would really get me going with helping to support your organization and posting my information? What would I get out of that?
Well, I do think it is the coverage. We now are recognized by Google, which means that we are at the top of a list. We have not had to claw our way up. It kind of happened overnight because we're the ones that seem to be doing what we're doing. We have posted not only the map of our territory so people can find out where our reach is, and we have also do give companies the opportunity to post ways that they might want to either show art in their companies, or perhaps during off times bring small quartets into the company to give small concerts. So there is ways that we can connect the businesses, I think, with the arts that I also think is pretty unique and a wonderful added benefit. For the artists, it is really good to get themselves up on the gallery. And I wish I could say that Louie and I have been really good about this, but the artists stay on forever. We haven't taken anybody off, so and we haven't really gone back and asked them to re-up or pay up, but we ought to get maybe a little stricter on that. But
well, the gallery is beautiful.
Yeah.
If any of the viewers have a chance to just go on to the website uvarts.org and just click through the artist gallery. The website does a beautiful job of displaying the artwork that I think really does the artist justice. So it's definitely worth a look.
I think that was the best thing so far that's happened, and it wasn't original with us. We copy wherever we can, and we have investigated, I would say, literally dozens of of Arts Alliance websites around the country and picked what we thought were the best features of each. The gallery is nice because it's there, it's visual art. You can see what, half a dozen works by an individual artist and find out more about who they are, what they do, where else they exhibit, and the like. That's not all we put up. We have a calendar of arts events and essentially an ongoing newsletter, so that it's a subscription business. Anybody who wants to be part of this and essentially post whatever they want to the site is asked for a small amount. I think it's $35 a year for small organizations, individual artists, and something like $60 a year for a larger organization. It's all there on the site. You can check it out. But the great thing about it is that unlike local newspapers, not to mention any in particular, if you send in a press release, we will actually print it. There it will be up on the website. Our idea is that we do not wish to discriminate. We're not editing this. We're not jurying it. It's a place where anybody can present themselves and let the world know what it is that they're doing. So we have a section for arts education where, for example, the Upper Valley Music Center would list itself. We have place for arts-related businesses, any kind of events or news, changes of personnel, particularly exciting upcoming projects. It's there for those who want to see it and for those who want to put it there. It's a community bulletin board, essentially, only it's active and infinitely spacious. Unlike the community bulletin board at Dan and Witt's, you don't have to take down last week's poster in order to make a space for your own. One of the things that we did that was quite successful at the time was mixers. We went to different communities around the area. We had one in Bradford, had one in Claremont, one or two right here in the White River Junction area, and sent invitations out to all the artists that we knew who had some connection with the area. And we have a list. We have a list of artists and organizations that runs into the hundreds. If you haven't looked at this analytically, you can form no conception of what a large arts community we are for an area that might have a total demographic of something like 50,000. There's an extraordinary number of people who are directly connected with the arts. So we can check that out. We maintain a database, and that's one of our functions as well. And we can find out a list of names of people within say, a given set of area codes, of zip codes, and invite them to come to a party. We've done this. We will do it again in all likelihood. Periodically, maybe once or twice a year, Joanne has organized forums to bring together people with organizational connections to see what is needed in the arts community, and this has been a way for folks to get to meet each other, get to know each other. Would you like to say anything to that, Joanne?
Well, I think the program last January was just so successful because even in a blizzard, we were able to get probably 32, 35 different arts organizations together to talk about ways that they might want to collaborate. And what was so interesting is that the group didn't realize how many of them are already doing that. So they had the opportunity to express some of their own ways that it's working, why sometimes it doesn't work, but all in all, I think that was really very successful. Louis and I do put ourselves out to the community in various ways, and the few that I'd really like to mention is the Leadership Upper Valley program and how the Arts Alliance played a huge role in kind of getting the Arts Day on the map for the Leadership program. And the Leadership program really is to bring community members from various disciplines to come and learn about the whole of the Upper Valley, and the arts was just a part of it. But at that Arts Day, we were able to talk about the creative economy. We were able to bring in arts organizations to talk about their own work. And then also, a couple years ago, we brought in all the service organizations like Listen and WISE, and we talked to them about how the arts are impacting their work. So I think there are ways that we reach out as much as we can to try and pull the arts and the organizations together. Louis and I are stepping out again with the Institute for Lifelong Learning at Dartmouth, now called ILLIAT, but I think it's changing its name. And we'll do a panel in this spring, and then the group will go out to organizations and learn behind the scenes. So I think we try as much as possible to integrate not only the website work, but then connect people with what the arts can do with them and for them.
That's great. So is there anything else upcoming that the Arts Alliance is going to be hosting, or any thoughts bouncing around in your heads right now other than working with the ILLIAT group? Or
Well, there are topics that I think a lot of us would like to perhaps get together and discuss. Two of them that are right at the top of the list are publicity and fundraising. Both of them are constant concerns for the arts community of arts organizations. And there are questions that come up. Something like, with fundraising, how do you do it? Do you have a person on your staff who's focused on this? Does your board of directors take an active part in this, or do you rely on professionals and so on? There are a lot of these technical questions that are not perhaps very interesting to the general public, but are very interesting to the arts community, not in its creative capacity, but in just maintaining itself. Publicity, of course, is another issue. What are the outlets available in the Upper Valley? Are they adequate to the needs of the arts community? Could they be improved? If so, how? Is a website sufficient, or should a newsletter be added that would bring everyone in? You can see many of these things emerging from the ordinary day-to-day activities of an arts organization.
And of course, one of the other big things is calendar listings, and how organizations could somehow find out from one another who's doing either benefits for fundraising, or are they having special events of, bringing in outside artists and sharing their expertise. So you're right, Louis, there's those almost three topics really that we could try and get another group together to talk about these things in the spring.
so if folks are interested in being involved as a volunteer, or helping more with these topics or other things, how will they get in touch?
Well, the easiest is to go to our website, and then there is a listing called Contacts, and both Louis and I are listed on that with our emails, and we answer them. We answer everything. So I hope everybody will not be shy, and if anybody wants to step up and help us, we'd be more than happy to talk to whomever.
And we should also point out that just from browsing the website, you don't need to be a member to look through the website, look through the calendar listings. You don't need to be a paid member to add calendar listings. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Your paid membership gets you a step further, but the general public can use the website.
Oh, absolutely. We encourage everyone not just to visit, but particularly on the calendar listings, we have a page where you can put down all the information about an event that's coming up. But the difference is that if you want to do this without membership, then you do it yourself. If you'd like to become a member, not only are you supporting the Arts Alliance and by extension the arts in the Upper Valley, but you're also, we do a lot of the work for you. And a lot of it is technical. We can handle that. We have some very good technical people, one of them sitting across from me, Angelina herself, who has been enormously helpful with this. But I'd like to add, too, that if you'd like to help out, if you have an idea, let Joanne or me know. If you're prepared to back it up and do some of the work yourself, definitely let Joanne or me know, because we're very interested in seeing other ways in which we can benefit the arts community. But with our very limited time, both of us are involved in all kinds of other things. What we need is boots on the ground, people who are willing to go out and actually pursue these projects themselves. We'll give all the help we can, including the capacity of our immense database to let, to help you along, to promote whatever it is you're doing. So don't hesitate to get in touch. As Joanne says, we answer our emails.
Yes, we do.
So the website is uvarts.org. Upper Valley Arts Alliance also has an active Facebook page, so if you're on Facebook, you can just search for Upper Valley Arts Alliance. It should pop up. Look on the website for Louie's information, Joanne's information, or the general email address is just info@uvarts.org. And is there anything else that you both want to add before we sign off here? Anything that's important for the Upper Valley to know about Upper Valley Arts Alliance?
I think we've pretty much covered it, and we can't thank you enough for allowing us to share these ideas. We hope somebody pays attention and gets in touch with us.
Yeah, please get in touch.
And meantime, we're happy to say that CATV is one of the great benefits to the arts community here, and we're delighted that we're able to come and talk to you about these things.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, thank you both very much.
Thank you, Angelina.